Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. Welcome back to What She Said Sports. This is the midday huddle. All right. So, this is where we get together and talk about some hot topics, like sizzling hot topics. And I had to hop on here today because, I'm listening to what I feel like is the rhetoric, right? I'm listening to what is likely the same talking points from Cleveland, the Cleveland media, and the national media. Same time last year in Cleveland when they had only won 3 games. Also, so they won 3 games last year. They won 3 games this year. And the media is trying to blame Shedeur, say he's not that guy, that his time is basically being used to prove that he's not what he is. They're always shocked when he enters the top 10 or the best rookie or rookie of the week. They always want to talk down his greatness. Why? Because they did the same thing in the draft. And the crazy part is, I don't know how Browns fans can't decipher that y'all are having the same conversations y'all had last year about a quarterback, but it's a different quarterback. You got the same head coach that won 3 games last year. You got the same head coach that won 3 games this year and ain't trying to win another one, but instead he is continuously sabotaging his own quarterback, which should make you go back and ask, did he sabotage Deshaun Watson? Yes, that really should be what is coming from this. Browns fans should be like, okay, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and saying we need a quarterback. People are saying, oh, the Browns need to get a quarterback. They need to get Mendoza or Dante Moore. Last year, they were like, let's get a quarterback with our number 2 pick. That was supposed to be Shedeur Sanders. And when you were gifted Shedeur Sanders at a deep discount in Cleveland, what has Cleveland done to Shedeur since he's been there? Try to send the message every single day. We don't want you. We don't value you because we don't want to win with you, which means they didn't want to win with Deshaun. And when somebody said today, Mel Kiper Jr., that Cleveland needs to build and draft O-linemen, 3 to 5 O-linemen to protect Shedeur, I'm like, okay, you do know the O-linemen in the Baltimore Ravens game in the first half, the same O-lineman that's playing right now, protected for Dillon. But in the second half of the same game, they were scattered and did not protect for Shedeur. The O-lineman is not the fix. Firing Kevin Stefanski is a fix, but the owner will likely go get another Kevin Stefanski. So that's not the fix. And when you look at the ownership, you can't fire them. I mean, they can be replaced, but it's going to take some doing. So replacing O-linemen with O-linemen who choose not to protect for Shedeur, but choose to protect Dillon is not the answer. Getting new wide receivers while still choosing to throw to Jerry Jeudy, who has the most drop passes in the league as a wide receiver, is not an answer. If Kevin Stefanski is the head coach, or if the person that hired Kevin Stefanski is still the owner, the same owner that allowed Deshaun Kaiser to go 0-15 and fired a black Harvard grad general manager, Sashi Brown, because he was going to draft Lamar Jackson, who is also black. So I think we're getting to a pattern here. I think we're getting to a pattern that when there's a black quarterback that could be the answer, we ruin or try to destroy their career or their health. We are watching O-linemen fall onto their own quarterback. And I have listened to guys in the league talk about how it is the Browns are sabotaging their own players. These are people that played in the NFL recently. So everybody knows Shedeur is being sabotaged. In fact, I think last night I ran into a guy that made me realize and start what I'm getting ready to say. Some older white gentleman who probably was alive when segregation was a thing said that Shedeur needs to process faster. I said, here we go, pushing the same racial, cerebral stereotype. That's one. Then Mel Kiper Jr. with the O-lineman. And I remember Mel Kiper Jr. was the one that told us the NFL does not want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. He was told this before the combine. And what did they prove during the combine and in the draft? That they didn't like Shedeur. And the NFL itself is allowing Shedeur to be abused. Where is the NFL Players Association allowing Shedeur to be abused? Because if the agenda is we don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now, and the Browns prove that to Shedeur every single day and fire Sashi Brown so he don't draft Lamar Jackson and pretend to draft Shedeur, but lock him out of the first round. And when he filed to us at 144, we keep him behind Dylan Gabriel, which is criminal. Shedeur Sanders is a phenom quarterback. It's not just that he's on a bad team or it's a bad O-lineman. Because we know Jerry Jeudy chooses when to catch footballs. We know the O-lineman chooses when to protect. We know the O-line chooses when to foul on Shedeur, when to trap him behind the line of scrimmage. We know that Kevin Stefanski has sabotaged Shedeur every step of the way. We know this. And we know Haslam, the owner who fired Sashi Brown, who was going to get Lamar. We know he's the root of all of it. He's also, the owner, Haslam, is also the same owner that was part of the group that took Shedeur Sanders off the draft board so nobody could get him. He could be locked out of the first round. When, in fact, had Shedeur been drafted number 2 to Cleveland or number 21 to Pittsburgh, he would have been the 17th black starting quarterback, and it would have been a historic night. But they upended the historic night in the draft by pushing Shedeur down. Just like they upended the Cleveland Browns drafting Lamar Jackson by firing Sashi Brown. And this same owner that's at the middle of all of this malfeasance is the same owner that told another black Harvard grad, Andrew Berry, to go get me Deshaun Watson. But Berry takes the fall for it. They still trying to fire him for that, and that wasn't his doing. The same owner we saw on the field at Ohio State versus the University of Texas, where neither Mendoza or Diego Pavia or Dante Moore attend school, took his GM with him. And I'm sure it was the same. Get me that guy. And what did the media proceed to do in Cleveland? They began tracking the Arch Manning kid's stats along with Lenore Sellers, who was conveniently and disgustingly knocked out and laid on the ground for 5 minutes with a concussion. Thankfully, Lenore Sellers is going back to school as DJ Lagaway is going back to school. See, back in the day when it was Warren Moon's time, he went to Canada. But thankfully, these kids can go back to school. Warren Moon went to Canada for the same reason DJ Lagaway and Lenore Sellers are going back to school, because they're being devalued by the league they want to work for. They watched Shedeur Sanders, a phenom of a quarterback, in the next 3 draft classes, the best quarterback, be devalued in the draft by the NFL and then sent to a team that continues to abuse him and sabotage him and try to spin it that he's not good. Instead of addressing the fact that the O-line blocks for Dylan and refused to block for Shedeur and fired those O-linemen, instead of admitting that the head coach acts more like an overseer or a warden, sabotaging his own team, depressing the defense, depressing the offense, manipulating the roster so Shedeur Sanders can fail. They expect this game to be a massacre. Understand that for Shedeur. And what they going to do with that? They're going to put them stats together, knowing that they miserable, and he don't have a damn chance like he didn't last week when they took his wristband, and say he's not that good. That was the same narrative in the damn draft. So in other words, what we said about him in the draft We are trying to prove every single game, every single day. Stefanski is trying to prove to Shedeur, and he's happy to do it. We don't want you. We don't value you. And they desperate because they got 12 to 14 million people on their heels. But have they been deterred? They say, you know what, let's stop this. No, because there still could be 17 black starting quarterbacks next year, even if it's not through the draft, because there's more than 17 black quarterbacks in the NFL, but they all stacked up together. You see right here? Look at this conference up here at the top of the blue with the second, where the Giants are. These colored circles represent black quarterbacks. Look at how they paired up together. And before the season started, I want you to see down here at the bottom, look at how they were put together like triplets. Down here in the red, go straight down. So second column at the top, second column at the bottom. They either paired up like twins or put together like triplets. And Shedeur was supposed to be a twin with Deshaun. And some people want to talk about Dante Moore so they can make Shedeur, Dante Moore, and Deshaun triplets. This is just harboring elite black QB talent, stacking it together so that it does not take over at the QB1 spot. So when Mel Kiper Jr. said, an NFL insider told him, the NFL does not want black quarterbacks now. They treated Shedeur and showed him that's how they felt about him. But is it just Shedeur? No, that's what this chart represents. Firing a GM so he don't draft Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson would have slid out the first round as a Heisman candidate, had a black GM. Isaac Newsom not drafted him on the way out. What they was going to do, fire him? He was already leaving. But instead of stopping and doing the right thing from Lamar, they still trying to trap black QB talent. And listening to Mel Kiper Jr., the same person, say, oh, we need to just put an O-line to protect Shedeur. But there is an O-line to protect Shedeur, but they refuse to, and the coach refused to hold them accountable, and the owner refuses to hold the coach accountable. The owner hasn't even forced the coach to do a game plan based on Shedeur's strengths until week 15. And now they want to bench him for the last 2 games. Should Shedeur be benched for the last 2 games? I told you that was going to happen. Just like the rest of these black quarterbacks that you see strategically placed, Shedeur was strategically placed in Cleveland. And why is that? Because Cleveland has never drafted a black quarterback in the first round. And people go, but they paid Deshaun Watson $230 million. And I'm like, he's never played more than half a season. And Kevin Stefanski allowed Deshaun to be sacked excessively, workplace negligence, 33 times through only 7 games. And when he got injured, because the body can only handle so much stress, he took his headset off and gave it to Ken Dorsey because mission accomplished. Well, he told us he's still calling the plays, even though he was supposed to be turning over the headset. And we see the O-linemen backing the men, the defensive players into Shedeur. We see the O-linemen themselves pushing Shedeur down and falling on him. And yet they don't get taken out the game or adjustments made. There's no sense of urgency or concern to protect the quarterback that's black. Like the same black quarterbacks they have never drafted in the first round. Paid Deshaun Watson $230 million guaranteed dollars, told Andrew Berry, go get me that guy, after firing Sashi Brown, who was going to draft Lamar. And you don't protect Deshaun on the field either. But you fire Sashi Brown so he can't get Lamar. Incidentally, Lamar's own O-lineman fell on his ankle and caused an injury. Now we see they trying to do it to Shedeur And they must want it to be this game because they're ready to bench him after the last two if he ain't injured. So what am I saying here? It's not that they need a new O-line. That's not enough. That's not enough. Because Kevin Stefanski will be there. And if you fire Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees, the owner will go get another Kevin Stefanski and another Tommy Rees. Two bad actors who are willing to sabotage their own quarterback and have the audacity to want to work somewhere else. And where was Stefanski linked? To the Titans, where Cam Ward is. See, yesterday there was a buzz on X because Cam Ward said he wanted to be involved in the decision to choose the next head coach. That's not abnormal for a quarterback, the most important position on the team. But people got upset about it. The people, haters of black quarterbacks, and they everywhere. They all over the league. They all over the Browns. And it seems like Kevin Stefanski is a hater of black quarterbacks. Mike Haslam be a hater of black quarterbacks. Look at his pattern. Look at his track record. Look at his action. Actions speak louder than words. I've never drafted a black quarterback in the first round in 120 years of this league. I don't care when the Browns came along. The point is, it has never happened. But I get one. After I tell my black GM from Harvard, after I fire his counterpart, go get me Deshaun, and I keep him injured. I don't protect him. I don't treat him like he the most important position on the team. I don't even protect the quarterback. In fact, I let gross negligence happen. The same thing happened over and over and over and over in a short period of time and stress the body out. And of course, he's injured and an insurance company is paying his salary. So is that what black quarterbacks are good for in Cleveland? For the insurance company to pick up his tab so you don't have to pay the $46 million. It should be questioned. It should be looked into. And now it's Shedeur's turn. The dirt divers were called out to let Shedeur be sacked. One was benched. The other one, the leader of the O-line, is still playing. So we shift to two more people. Instead of the left guard and the right guard dirt diving, now I got the left tackle and the right tackle sabotaging their own quarterback, trying to foul on him so that he could be injured. And I don't think they care about his salary being paid because he don't make that much money. But he will be unavailable to benefit any team. And maybe like Deshaun, we can't trade him. And he's stuck in a franchise that does not value black quarterbacks. If you have never drafted a black quarterback in the first round, ever, you do not value black quarterbacks. And when you get a black quarterback, gifted one for a deep discount at pick 144, and you do nothing but try to destroy his mental fortitude and try to destroy his body and to hold him back behind an undrafted free agent and treat him like a dog that you got to earn it. You got to earn it. I need you to earn it. And when you earn it, you still don't get it. It's still kept from you. And then when you get the opportunity, you get denied. It can only be through injury, whether real or fake, but it's only through injury to tell you, we don't want you, we don't value you, but we have to let you play. And when you're allowed to play, they take your wristband. Or when you're allowed to play, they cohort with the wide receiver to drop every other pass, to start skipping to Malu. Or they cohort and collaborate with the O-line to in unison start dirt diving, left guard, right guard. Then in unison, left tackle, right tackle, start fouling on you. Suppressing the defense, taking out Denzel Ward and keeping in Harden. Manipulating the depth chart so you only have to play certain people. It's documented. The depth chart looked one way and they changed it, and it's not due to injury. Cornelius Lucas is better at pass protection, which is protecting the quarterback, but they bumped him back to 3 and they put KT Levinson at the 2, and he's terrible at pass protection. And worse, he is rolling around on the ground in the dirt more often than not. Pushed his man right into his own quarterback. Took his man and swung him and pushed him into the quarterback. They're trying to get Shedeur hurt like Deshaun Watson because they do not value black quarterbacks, whether they pay them $230 million or whether they pay them $975,000. Because we've never drafted a black quarterback in the first round. And when we did get a black quarterback, named Deshaun Kaiser. We left him on the field to go 0-15, humiliated week after week after week. That's what they want to do with Shedeur's time while he's playing. Use the stats to humiliate him week after week after week. Somebody had the audacity to ask, how do we feel about Shedeur Sanders now? And you know what I said? Considering he's a Phenom QB and he's been sabotaged by his head coach every week and he's thriving, good. Because nobody else could thrive in those conditions. When Richie Incognito was racially harassing Jonathan Martin, he quit. Has Shedeur quit? I'm not blaming Jonathan Martin for quit. The point is, he quit. This Shedeur quit. When Stefanski ignored him all summer. When Stefanski humiliated him all summer. There are pictures with them on the field. Stefanski not talking to Shedeur in the Ravens game. There is more than ample proof that Stefanski should have been fired. The owner says Stefanski has done good work for us. Is he using a coded language? Because Stefanski won 3 games last year, 3 games this year. Should have been terminated after Callahan and before Daboll. But keeping him around and things are getting worse. They're stealing his wristband. Shedeur is a Phenom QB on and off the field because he's thriving in a system that was designed to destroy his mental fortitude in his career. Managed to become Rookie of the Week despite Kevin Stefanski being left to destroy him. Put up 393 yards and 4 touchdowns when he could have had 6 because they robbed him with those wildcat plays. So he's thriving despite them holding him back. And this is supposed to be a massacre coming up. Is it going to end in injury? Because they're looking for a way to bench him. Dylan had 6 games. According to the Browns, where you get drafted doesn't matter. You come in and you compete. That's a lie. They use Shedeur's draft status, location 144, over him the entire time. Oh, well, Dylan has already had first team reps with the offense and the defense, but he's been rewarded with that, but not Shedeur. Mary Cabot, on camera, documented. Everybody knows Stefanski abused Shedeur all summer. Everybody knows that Stefanski is sabotaging his players, including the quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. Let's take a listen to what some former NFL players have called out regarding risky.
Complete, whatever. So my whole thing is being in the building, know how that go. Y'all on offense. And I'm on defense, and I know how this go. On Friday, Saturday, they finishing up the play sheet, right? And then on Saturday, they gonna give it to y'all, but they make it.
Ain't no way they had the wrong.
The only mistakes on that are you mistype, you leave something out, you spell something wrong.
Okay, and so
but like being it completely wrong.
But yeah, so that's what I say. And the players to clear this shit up. The players don't have no say. They don't have they can't change shit on there. When you get that play sheet, it's already made up. It's already laminated. It's on the team. They make those.
Well,
right. So what they're telling you is the process of how the play sheet is developed, protected, and distributed. That's what they're telling you. Keep listening.
That's the plays you done ran. You've been working on all week. That's the playbook. That's the game plan.
And if something changed, it's not always that it does, but it's minor changes from Friday to Saturday.
And they will let you know.
And they will let you know. Like, you're going to get one on Friday, and then when you come in on Saturday, it might be a few changes, but it's mostly going to be the same.
They get paid way too much to get that man the wrong wristband. I don't believe that.
That's what I'm saying.
So what they're telling you is it's not an easy process to get the wrong wristband. They're letting you know that doesn't happen. They're letting you know how protected the play sheet is, when you get it, whose hands it goes through, how hard it is to get it wrong. They're letting you know this doesn't happen. And again, had Kevin Stefanski been fired, would Haslam have hired another coach to do this? Or did he leave Stefanski in place to ensure that the unexplainable continues to happen to Shedeur until the end? Keep listening.
Saying, bro, this whole organization, bro, everything that's happening is for everybody. Mm-hmm. Shedeur said that the wristband fell out.
See, he's such a good kid. He's gonna have back, bro.
Exactly. Because he's not gonna throw nobody under the bus. Never.
He doing
not
right.
his teammates, not his
right.
coaches.
He can't.
So him.
What did this guy say on the end? Shedeur is not covering for Kevin Stefanski. He can't throw him under the bus. He can know exactly what happened because Shedeur been around long enough to know what these guys know. There's been enough games for him to know that it wasn't an easy process to get the wristband wrong. That's another message from the Browns organization. We don't want you. We don't value you. And they continuously sabotage him. That's another act of sabotage. And everybody knows it. And the media is trying to normalize it. That's what's disgusting. Why? So they can do it to somebody else.
Saying that
he was taught right.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing. That's crazy.
Like you see the situation and knowing, being in the building, a part of those
that's crazy
situations like that, seeing this happen, bro. Like I said, it's every week since he's been the quarterback starting for that team. It's something new, a new situation that we've never seen before.
Look at the coaching side.
Look at the coach face when
from the coaching side. From the coaching side, not from his side. From the coaching side
that we've never seen before. I'm talking about Stephen A. Cam Newton, reporter.
Look at this picture right here, right? So remember in the summer, they were talking about Stefanski ignoring Shedeur, right? People caught that on camera. And then people talked about how in the Ravens game, it was caught on camera with 1 minute left. Stefanski was ignoring Shedeur. Remember the player, I forget his name, that we had on camera with Johnny Manziel, that we had in the little clip that said his head coach was ignoring him and it was hard for him to deal with that. Remember Shedeur said how difficult it has been for him. How 5 or 6 months ago, I would never tell you I would be here. Why? Because the messaging in the draft, we don't want you, we don't value you, is the same in Cleveland. We don't want you, we don't value you. And the owner leaving the head coach in place to sabotage this young man, to try to destroy his mental fortitude, to destroy his career, to sabotage him, to put the team in a position to lose because I don't want to win with you, a black quarterback, a person I've never drafted in the first round. We don't want you. We don't value you. So what does that mean? I'm going to tell you what it means. It means that it's not that Shedeur Sanders is on the wrong team with the wrong coach and the wrong O-line and the wrong owner. Shedeur Sanders as a black, phenomenal quarterback is in the wrong football league. That's what it means. That's why DJ Lagaway staying at school. That's why Lenore Sellers staying at school. That's why Dante Moore should stay in school. That's why that kid in Arkansas needs to stay in school. Every black quarterback in the NFL that is paired up, devalued, or being forced and stacked together as triplets is in the wrong league. The NFL is a league that has a disturbing history with black quarterbacks. And in a historic year with 16 in the disgusting acts in the draft to make sure Shedeur was not number 17. The draft wasn't about talent. It was about preference. And the Browns aren't about winning. It's about losing when the quarterback is black because we don't want you. We don't value you. And the amount of abuse Shedeur Sanders has had to endure from the NFL itself in the draft and from the Browns is a sure signal that he's in the wrong league. Because like they said before the combine, we don't want quarterbacks. According to Mel Kiper Jr., an NFL insider, we don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. Like that fits DJ Lagaway. That fits Dante Moore. That fits the kid in Arkansas. That fits Bryce Underwood. That fits Julia Lewis. That fits Lamar Jackson. That fits Jalen Hurts, Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston. The amount of abuse Shedeur has had to endure from a league that didn't want him but chose to draft him to deter him from going anywhere else proves that Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league as a black, phenomenally talented quarterback. He's in the wrong league. And Oline won't fix it. A new coach won't fix it. New ownership won't fix it. He's in the wrong league. Shedeur Sanders and quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders need to be in a league where Black quarterbacks are not considered a threat, but their skill and their talent is welcomed, embraced, cultivated for leadership of the team to win. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. And these players know it. They know he's being sabotaged. The players coming out of school know it. That's why they're going back to school. And the players coming behind them better know it. What happened to Shedeur in the draft? The disgusting manner he was treated. We don't want you. We don't value you was a message to all Black quarterbacks. That's why what Mel Kiper Jr. said, he was told the NFL does not want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. Keyword now, because this is a historic time where Black quarterbacks are at the cusp of taking over at the QB1 spot. So any quarterback coming out of college that's Black probably going to get devalued to the second round. Have y'all noticed that suddenly they want to move off of Jackson Dart and put Mendoza in New York and get him number one? Why is that? It either means the same people that said Shedeur Sanders was going to the Giants, that assassinated Shedeur's character, are planning to set Mendoza up for the same, using New York as a carrot. Because just like we knew Shedeur wasn't going to the Giants, I don't know about Mendoza. And they just got Jackson Dart, so that don't make no sense. But it's the same people calling for the same rules. And the same people were trying to push Dante Moore where Shedeur is, where Deshaun is, to be triplets. Shedeur Sanders and Black phenomenally talented quarterbacks like Lamar Jackson are in the wrong league. All they will experience is abuse, sabotage, and manipulation. Sure, we'll draft you to devalue you. He's in the wrong league. When they start normalizing abuse and sabotage, you're in the wrong place. He's in the wrong league. Let's finish listening to this.
Media,
fuck him. You need to fire him, right? He needs to get fired.
Look how he looked, man. He looked like he don't want that situation. He looked like he don't want to be in that situation.
This is my question. So, like, we know that allegedly that Shedeur pick was a GM call,
yes.
Right? Now,
So they're talking about Shedeur pick being a GM call. Okay, if you go to this episode on the Raw Room and you look at the comments, people are comparing the abuse faced by Shedeur as the same abuse that RG3 faced by Callahan, or that, as you heard me say multiple times, Vince Young faced at the hands of Jeff Fisher. When they say it's a GM call, they don't want you. Shedeur Sanders was not a GM call. Shedeur Sanders was taken off the board by 32 non-Black owners who don't want him, who don't value him, and allow him to be abused in their franchises. No franchise is still calling for him, no matter how he ascends, no matter how well he performs, because the owners have decided they don't want 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 Black starting quarterbacks. It's not just Shedeur. That's why the other guys who were coming out of school, who were supposed to be first round, are going back to school. If you pay attention, all of them face some type of disruption this season. And now they already went after Nico. Now they're going after Bryce Underwood. That's why Coach Prime is in the position to where they want to say he failed. And all they did was get him from Jackson State to disrupt 5 stars flipping from PWIs to HBCUs. Recruiting, that was it. They didn't care about what Coach Prime was doing at Jackson State before he flipped Travis Hunter. And once Travis Hunter was gone from a PWI into the league, They decided to tear it all down at Colorado. So this issue runs deep. It transcends the NFL and it goes into college, and they working together. That's why Shedeur Sanders had a character assassination in college. That's why he was kept off the Heisman stage in college. Do you believe it is a coincidence that he was parked behind Dylan in college on the Heisman stage and parked behind Dylan in Cleveland? No. Absolutely not. We don't want you. We don't value you. Yes, we know how good you are. We know how talented you are, but we still gonna put you behind an undrafted free agent and pay him more. Because as we were told last night, the NFL is a buddy-buddy wealth transfer system, which explains how Dylan went from undrafted free agent to a third round because he went to the Manning Passing Academy. Who is it the owner wants to draft in 2026, but he going back to school? The Manning kid. Where did Jackson Dart go to school? Ole Miss. Who else went to Ole Miss? Archie Manning and Eli Manning. Do you not see the pattern here? The buddy system. Where did Tyler Shaw? Where did he get drafted? The Saints. Where did he go for training? The Manning Passing Academy. It's a total block out on Shedeur Sanders because the NFL is waiting for the Manning kid to do what Shedeur is currently doing. Elevating the game and the popularity transcends the league. They see it with Shedeur. They know it can happen with Shedeur. But I don't want that success with Shedeur. I want that from the Manning family. That's why they kicked Shiloh out. That's why they're shunning Coach Prime. They're shunning Black football legacy in favor and preference for white football legacy. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Every Black quarterback coming out after him in the wrong league. They currently have 16. The extremes they went through to avoid 17 with what they did to Shedeur, who was 17, and they knew he was 17. They lied on his father. They assassinated his character. They lied about his performance. They lied about his skill set. They did everything. And God keeps showing up. And he gets to Cleveland. And they started over there, the same lies. He can't compute. He can't learn. He's not cerebral. The same racial stereotypes they've used against all Black quarterbacks are being used against Shedeur in Cleveland. The sabotage is allowed by ownership. The abuse allowed by ownership, the NFL and NFL Players Association. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league, as is every other Black quarterback that you hear being torn down, despite winning the Super Bowl and being there twice and on their way back. Jalen Hurts. Lamar Jackson, who they have colluded against 3 times. Every Black quarterback is in the wrong league. Every last one of them.
Coach, I just wanted to clarify. The chances of Shedeur leaving or this coach leaving, chances are the coach normally leave first, right? Is that fair to say?
In this case,
we don't fucking know.
It should be.
It should be, but we don't like we don't know. With everything was going on, that shit. But the fact that they fucked up his like,
he was like, bro, that's Cleveland. He's
that stuff, something like that. But listen, though, he knows this. Something like that doesn't happen on accident. If that's what happened, somebody did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, I believe that.
You don't accidentally fuck up the whole play. He knows this as a head coach. You don't actually.
Further proof, he's not just on the wrong team. Like you heard him say, this goes all the way up, and there's been no consequences. Just like the head coach is left in place, so are the people who are sabotaging the game, the Jerry Judys, the whole Oline. They working together. This is corruption at the highest level.
Fuck up a whole play sheet, bro. A play call sheet, bro.
Yeah.
A wristband.
You lose.
That's not an accident.
You lose your job.
You lose your fucking job.
You'll lose your job over that shit.
What?
So that means somebody
in the league?
Somebody in an important position knew what was happening and allowed that to happen.
Did you hear what he said? Let's run that back. Run it back. Just run it back.
He knows this as a head coach. You don't actually fuck up a whole play sheet, bro. A play call sheet, bro.
Yeah.
A wristband.
You lose.
That's
your
not
job.
an accident.
You lose your
You
job.
will lose your fucking job.
You'll lose your job over that shit.
What?
So that means somebody
in the league?
Somebody in an important position knew what was happening and allowed that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't know who it was, but you fuck like you know how that goes. At that level, you fuck up one. You have let's say you have one play, like one play supposed to be here because you know it's color coded.
Yeah.
One play supposed to be in yellow, but you got it in blue, and the other one's in yellow. That'll get you fired. Messing up the wrong wristband sheet.
I told you,
bro.
It don't make no sense.
It's too much money being made.
Man.
Too many people know what's going on. That shit happened on purpose. Mm-hmm. Somebody in an important position on that coach staff or on that above administration side in Cleveland allowed that shit to happen. Whoever it is needs to lose their fucking job.
Everybody needs to lose their job there. Look at the situation in the quarterback room, man. You paying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Top to bottom, bro. Yeah.
Now you heard it. Top to bottom. It's crazy. These guys know this is coming from higher up. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. He needs to go to a league that appreciates Black quarterback talent. And I know some people are like, where is that? I want you to understand something. If you've been paying attention, if you watch my stories, I post about the business of football. I post about business, period. But as it pertains to sports, you already heard me say that Michael Jordan and other NASCAR owners got together a team of over 100 lawyers and sued NASCAR and won. That's one, right? Charlemagne the God. This week alone, we have new companies buying old companies like Warner Brother and Netflix. Then you got Netflix partnering with iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio wants to compete with YouTube when it comes to podcasting, etc. So what has happened? A new lane has opened up. So Charlemagne the God, The Breakfast Club, and some other podcasts will now be on Netflix because of the partnership with iHeartRadio. Charlemagne the God just inked a $200 million multi-year deal to have what he created, which is a new lane, which is platforms for podcasts. So he created a network, basically, where he went out and selected certain podcasts to be under one umbrella that he owns. That umbrella is now worth over $220 million for multiple years to be featured on Netflix. So imagine YouTube on Netflix that people pay for. That lane didn't exist. That lane is new. The old being taken down. Look at what's happening on YouTube. Old guard media losing views to podcasters. Podcasters like The Raw Room. Podcasters like what used to be Gil's Arena. And they took over that show because he'd amassed over 500,000 views at any given time. That's a podcast that's likely going to end up on Netflix. Shannon Sharp, a new lane. He has his own network and now he owns someone else's because they understand the podcast network is a new lane and is thriving. Shedeur Sanders is currently thriving in a toxic workplace culture designed to destroy him. The NFL is corporate, but in standard corporate America, when you face these types of things, you either sue or you leave and find a better environment that welcomes and embraces your talent and cultivates you to be a part of the culture to lead. That's what leaders do. So Shedeur Sanders, this whole season, including his draft process, this whole year, because the Shrine Bowl was in January. So going all the way back to January and we in December getting ready to push on 2026 has been shown and told by the NFL. The Cleveland Browns, we don't want you. We don't value you. And they have shown this to him through sabotage, which they are attempting to normalize. So much so, it's so bad, they have deterred other players who are Black, and that was the goal. So it's time for a new lane. It's time for a new league. Out with the old, which is the current trend. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league, and nothing will change that. because the league he's been in has been around for 120 years. It has the same plantation mentality. It pushes the same racial stereotypes against Black quarterbacks. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. So let me see what y'all are saying. If you're just not joining us, this conversation got started because I was on X and I was listening to what people were saying and communicating, and somebody had the audacity to ask us, how do we feel about Shedeur Sanders now? Because they want to say he's not good. They want to disprove his greatness, right? And I said, he's a phenom. We haven't changed. What we see from Shedeur hasn't changed. Just because you're sabotaging him doesn't mean he's not good. Just because you push him down in the draft and make sure he can't be drafted in the first round so he doesn't become the 17th Black quarterback that starts for the NFL doesn't mean he's not good. Shedeur Sanders is a phenom. Considering he's consistently being sabotaged by his own head coach and is thriving, he's not just a quarterback phenom. He's a phenomenal individual to be able to withstand, rise above, and transcend what was meant to destroy him. You have an entire franchise and football league against this young man, and he's thriving. One thing about it, many people can see God moving through Shedeur's life and holding him. Understand this. God don't leave his people nowhere where they not appreciated. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong football league. It's time for a new lane. So I want to see what y'all are saying. I want to see what y'all are thinking about this, because this is huge, right? This changes the narrative because everybody wants to find a solution, but the solution is Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Hey, Bridget, how you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, SC, welcome back. We in here. Hey, Tony, how you doing? How you doing? It's Friday. Hey, End of Days, how you doing? How you doing? Tina, welcome back. Welcome back. It's Friday. Members, we do go live in about 40 minutes. And we still going live. I will come back for the replay. Keep pushing, Ola. Thank you, Tony. Keep pushing as well. It said Cleveland reporter works for fake reporter. That's crazy. It said Ray had the nerve to say Phenom deserves it, but who threw the ball to Phenom? Right. They did the same thing with Travis. Travis is this, but Shedeur is nothing, as if Travis threw the ball to himself. Again, Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Hey, how you doing, Blind Beautiful? Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Thank you so much. Roger, how you doing? How you doing? It said, we all see what's going on. Right. And I'm calling it out. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Talking about changing the O-line. Talking about getting a new coach. Talking about getting a new owner. You need a new league. A new league that accepts, welcomes, cultivates, and appreciates Black quarterback talent. It's time for a new league. It's time for a new lane. It said, hey, sis, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? It said, it's funny. They break down Shedeur games play by play. Never did that with Dylan. Not one media person has said anything about the O-line, not blocking and just falling down. Facts. Because why? Just like in the draft, they're all in on it. The same people that are tore down Shedeur are pushing other quarterbacks to go to a place that has never had a Black quarterback. And if they move out Dart, what it should prove to you is Dart was just a wedge like Dylan Gabriel to block Shedeur in the draft. That's it. That's it. And they will rob every player on the team of an opportunity to win, to hold back a Black quarterback, including Shedeur Sanders. So Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. It says, since the word is Haslam cut some what? Offensive lineman that did the dirt dive. Yeah. Who was it? And what's going on with the left tackle and the right tackle? I'll look into that. I'll look into that when I get off of here. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling me. It said there are reasons these sorry NFL teams end up with the first, second, and third picks in the draft. They usually have poor O-lines, second-tier players, and bad head coaches. When you have a poor O-line, second-tier coaches, and a bad head coach, you don't want to win. You're not positioning the team to win. And I pointed out after the draft, the same teams that led a character assassination against Shedeur or shunned Shedeur have never had black starting quarterbacks. And Tennessee did not want Cam. They waited until the last minute. The 2025 draft class exposed the NFL when it came to quarterbacks. Cleveland preferred to draft Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger over Shedeur Sanders at number 2 overall. Both of those players are white. I'm not saying Carson Schlesinger isn't good, but there's no way Mason Graham should have been number 1. They didn't want Shedeur. Tennessee didn't want Cam. The Giants didn't want a black starting quarterback. I don't care who it is. So are they really going to be open to Mendoza? And if they suddenly move off of Jackson Dart, it proves what I just said. Dart was a Dylan Gabriel to block Shedeur. The Saints have never drafted a quarterback in the first round. So Shedeur clearly was never going there. And they didn't care. They've never had a black quarterback in the first round, and they don't want one. That is what's wrong with the NFL. They too busy being stuck in a racial bias situation. That's what they want. Let them have what they want. It's time for a new lane. That's just what it is. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. And even if another lane never materializes, this league will never be it. That's what the 2025 draft proved. That's what the 2025 draft proved. And don't be surprised if one day Shedeur just decides to resign. When he's had enough of the abuse, when he sees it's not going to be any different, don't be surprised if those other quarterbacks refuse to come out of college and go to the NFL. Because you have to value yourself at some point. And I'm not saying Shedeur don't value himself. God opened the door for Shedeur to be here. And it's clear the NFL and the Browns and other teams are being exposed. And once that assignment is done, he will move on. He will move on because they will not stop. So again, Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Shedeur Sanders needs to be in a league that respects, welcomes, embraces, and cultivates black quarterback talent. Take it however you want to, but that's the facts. So you can kill all of the talk about a new O-line because the O-line that was there blocked for Dylan. In the same game, they chose not to block for Shedeur. They chose not to block for Shedeur. So, is the O-line really the fix? Is a new head coach really the fix if the owners left Deshaun Kaiser go 0-15 before Stefanski got there? Yes, Stefanski's problematic. Yes, the O-line is problematic. But did the owner do anything about any of them? Has the owner forced the head coach to make a game plan specifically for Shedeur and to make adjustments when Jerry Jeudy drops the ball? The owner is paying Jerry Jeudy $41 million. And he's comfortable with Jerry Jeudy leading the league in passes dropped. And he's comfortable with Stefanski leaving Jerry Jeudy on the field to embarrass his brand. At what point do you care about your brand? I mean, from a business perspective, you got to be out your rabbit mind to let Jerry Jeudy, Stefanski, the entire O-line, and Tommy Reese destroy your brand. The Browns are an embarrassment. And the NFL should be doing something about it. But since they colluded against Shedeur themselves in the draft, Shedeur's in the wrong league. That's just what it is. It said the type of sabotage that is taking place against Shedeur in this day and time is unacceptable, right? The abuse he's having to endure to do his job. Everybody with the Browns organization, at least the owner and whoever he runs around with, should be sitting in front of Congress right now. There's no accountability. But this is not about them because this is who they choose to be. This is about Shedeur. Shedeur Sanders needs to be in a league, a football league, a professional football league that welcomes, embraces, cultivates, is not threatened by elite black quarterback talent. That's what needs to happen. A new lane. And 14 million fans gonna go with it. Let this one fall. Or let the people, the haters of black QBs, let them keep it going. It seems like Stefanski is targeting Quishan now, and Quishan don't look happy and truly hate being on a losing team. These kids did not leave college to come to the NFL with the dream of playing football at the highest level, to be forced to sabotage their own quarterback, to be held back to less than 2 yards a carry when you were just a phenom in college. These young players do not like being used to sabotage their own black quarterback. How is it that 68 and 72 KT Levingston and Cam Robinson live with themselves? I have no idea. But if they over there firing linemen, they better fire 62, 68, and 72. It's not a coincidence. The dirt divers, right guard, left guard, pushing the players into Shedeur, falling on Shedeur, the left tackle, the right tackle. That's corruption at the highest levels. And the owner doesn't even care about his brand. The sponsors should definitely care about trying not to just sabotage the quarterback to lose, but to get him injured like the last quarterback. And they paid him $230 million and didn't value him. And they clearly don't value Shedeur at $975,000, even though they were going to draft him at number 2 for $46 million. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. There's no accountability for the Cleveland Browns sabotaging their own quarterback. There's no accountability for the toxic environment that Kevin Stefanski has created. There's no accountability for the corruption that runs from the top to the bottom, to the left to the right within the Browns organization. You need to flip it inside out. And the NFL has been negligent. Shedeur Sanders, a phenomenal black quarterback, is in the wrong league, the wrong professional football league. And nothing will change that. No posturing will change that. Black quarterbacks will never be good enough for these people. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. It's that apparently doing right by black quarterbacks is not a priority. There you go. And that's where the conversation needs to go, right? It needs to go to Shedeur is not appreciated, or Shedeur is not respected, and his talents aren't respected by the Cleveland Browns, and there's no accountability against the Cleveland Browns, so the NFL does not respect him, and the NFL colluded against him in the draft. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league, and 14 million fans know he's a phenomenal quarterback. And yet there's no end in sight for the NFL to stop abusing Shedeur Sanders, trying to destroy his career and his mental fortitude. It's disgusting. They've essentially taken him somewhere in the woods and hung him up to a cross and set it on fire to destroy, so he's not available to anyone. It's disgusting. Just like Mel Kiper Jr. said it was in the draft. And that was the moment he realized, when an NFL insider told him they don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. The racism. It's disgusting. That's what it is. Hey, how you doing, Bridget? So Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. He's phenomenal. He's a talented quarterback. About 14 million fans want to see him play, but the NFL and the Browns, they're not interested in letting him play football because they don't want there to be 17, 18, 19, 20 black starting quarterbacks. So they would rather destroy Shedeur than play football. So Shedeur needs to go play football in another league. I will keep saying it if I got to put it on a goddamn t-shirt. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong football league. And on the back, I tell you why it is he needs to go to another football league where he is welcomed. His talents are, he's respected as a human being, number one, and not 3/5 of a human. Number two, his talents are embraced. His talents are celebrated. Shedeur has been celebrating his whole life. So this had to be an extreme culture shock to go somewhere where they treat you like 3/5 of a human being and try to destroy you mentally in front of everyone and try to end you and get you hurt while you're at work by your own coworkers. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. He's in harm's way. In the Browns organization, and the NFL is not taking any accountability for the negligence, the sabotage, and the corruption in the Browns organization. This is beyond corporate malpractice. This is criminal. Rigging and fixing games is criminal. This is racketeering. Shedeur Sanders is too elite to be dealing with an organization that's rigging and fixing games. Fans want to see Shedeur Sanders ball out freely with a game plan that's intended for his skill set, so he can fairly compete against the other team with teammates who are the best at their positions. That currently does not exist. While the O-line isn't atrocious and is making decisions on when to block for Shedeur and when to push the defender into Shedeur so Shedeur can get injured, they're not atrocious. They're making decisions. But they're not the best at what they do. And that's what he deserves to be with, because he is phenomenal. He deserves phenomenal teammates. He doesn't have that. The Browns don't offer that. They're not interested in having the best because they've never had a black quarterback drafted in the first round, which is what Shedeur was, and they're not interested. They'll only take you if they can devalue you, and then they set to destroy you. From Deshaun Kaiser to Shedeur Sanders and every black quarterback that has been through Cleveland in between, including RG3 and Tyrod Taylor. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. And so is every other black quarterback. So stay in school, Dante Moore and whoever's over there at Arkansas. And Bryce Underwood and the rest, and Julian, y'all hunker down. That's what you do. Keep posting these belly flopping O-line shots and expose the dirty schemes. Yep, I did. They knew about it. Everybody talked about it. It said they stepped on Lamar's ankle twice this year. They also fell on Lamar as well. And this is practice. It said, I keep telling people that John Harbaugh has been suppressing Lamar and now trying to get him hurt. Right. And now that's the third team. So we already talked about the toxicity running through Cleveland. And then earlier this week, it was exposed the toxicity, the same toxicity in the Atlanta Falcons organization. And now we have Ravens fans or people that watch the Ravens or Lamar Jackson fans talking about Lamar Jackson. That's three. That's three organizations where the quarterback is being suppressed. Sabotage. Michael Penix Jr., Shedeur Sanders, and Lamar Jackson, all in the same year. 3 different ball clubs. And this is the same organization, the Falcons and the Cleveland Browns, where black players have been retaliated against, or players in general have been retaliated against for showing concern for black players and black coaches. That is also a trend happening with the Falcons, happening with the Cleveland Browns. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Every black quarterback is in the wrong league. You need to be in a professional football league that doesn't lean on intimidation, coercion, rigging and fixing games and suppressing the black quarterback so they don't win. Black quarterbacks are in the wrong league. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong football league. The wrong professional football league. It said, hell nah, these black men are getting generational wealth from this league. No, they're not. No, they're not. They also getting injured. They also having their life. They're also getting CTE. And anybody that thinks that money is more important than you as a person, you don't listen to people like that. For one, they're not even in the situation. And two, they would tap out. Shedeur is not getting generational wealth. So like I said, Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. Generational wealth can be had and created. You just heard me talk about a new lane. And if you choose to have a Neanderthal level of thinking, then you will be treated like a Neanderthal. So that's what it is. Underestimated, undervalued, and marginalized. Facts. It said one thing about it, podcaster documenting Oline taking dirt dives and not blocking, exposing the Browns, making the NFL look horrible each week. It said this makes the Browns look guilty. Right. And people will be watching the Bills game. Why? But have they done anything? That's the question. Yes, it's documented. But is there any accountability? No, not from what I can see. And if they just now get into the first two dirt divers, what about the two that are falling on Shedeur? You see what I'm saying? There's no accountability. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong professional football league. He's too phenomenal for a league that fixes and rigs games and intimidates and coerces to suppress the black quarterback. Let's see if Myles Garrett can truly get his 1.5 sacks on Josh Allen. It should have been 1, but they cheated him and gave him a half. Suppressing the defense, suppressing the offense, manipulating the roster, the depth chart. It's corruption at the highest levels. Taking his armband. You heard what these guys said. If you just not joining us, we were listening to the
whatever. So my whole thing is being in the building, know how that go. Y'all on offense. And I'm on defense, and I know how this go. On Friday, Saturday, they finishing up the play sheet, right? And then on Saturday, they gonna give it to y'all, but they make it.
Ain't no way they had the wrong.
The only mistakes on that are you mistype, you leave something out, you spell something wrong.
Okay, and so
but like the being it completely wrong.
But yeah, so that's what I say. And the players and the players, to clear this shit up, the players don't have no say. They don't have they can't change shit on there. When you get that play sheet, it's already made up. It's already laminated. It's on the team. They make those.
Well, because that's the plays you've been working on all week. That's the playbook. That's the game plan.
If something changed, it's not always that it does, but it's minor changes from Friday to Saturday.
And they will let you know.
And they will let you know. Like, you're going to get one on Friday, and then when you come in on Saturday, it might be a few changes, but it's mostly going to be the same.
They get paid way too much to get that man the wrong wristband. I don't believe that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This whole organization, bro, everything that's happening is for everybody. Mm-hmm. Shedeur said that the wristband fell out.
See, he's such a good kid. He's gonna have back, bro.
Exactly. Because he's not gonna throw nobody under the bus. Never.
He doing
not
right.
his teammates, not his coaches.
He can't.
So him saying that
he was taught right.
Yeah.
So you heard what he said. He can't even hold them accountable. There's zero accountability in Cleveland. The owner showing no accountability for the head coaching, continuously sabotaging the players. These players are telling you this does not happen. These NFL players telling you this does not happen. They're telling you the process. It's actually difficult to do what was done against Shedeur. Has anybody been fired? Has Stefanski been fired? Were the O-line fired for dirt diving? The right guard and the left guard. Joel Bitonio and Jack Conklin. Were the left tackle and the right tackle? Were they fired, released from their duties for rolling around on the ground, for blowing their coverages and throwing their linemen into Shedeur, for themselves falling on Shedeur with their linemen on top of them? The performances, everybody has watched it. Everybody knows the sabotage is taking place, and there's zero accountability. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. And if you feel like you need their money, what does this say about you? And I'm not talking about Shedeur. I'm talking about other people who feel like they're getting generational wealth. If you feel like you can't get generational wealth or create it for yourself in a league where black players consistently go broke, you don't have generational wealth. You're just letting people waste your talents when you could do for yourself. And they rely on the fact that you think you can't get it done nowhere else. They rely on that. That's why they don't mind abusing you. It said, it's just crazy that Shedeur is literally still in training camp since this is his 4th full week of running with the first team. He's doing damn well considering. Right. That's what I say. I'm like, hell, he's a phenom. He's thriving on and off the field through levels of abuse none of us should have to put up with in the modern era. It's shameful. And they want to normalize it. And they want to use it to devalue him so they could trade him somewhere else as anything other than a QB1. Because we don't want you, we don't value you, is the message before the combine. But they exploited him so he could be humiliated. And they're still doing it. This is the league itself. That's why there's no accountability. Corruption at the highest levels. It's time for a new lane. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong professional football league. Instead, had to step away from my phone. I see more evidence of sabotage mounting. Yeah, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. What if Dylan changed it in his locker room? It don't matter. It don't matter. These guys are telling you that doesn't happen like that. They're telling you how this is done. No need for the what ifs. They're telling you how this process goes. When you have people that played the game telling you this don't happen like this, and here's the thing, why are they the only ones talking about this?
On offense.
Ain't no way in hell that
I'm
happened.
on defense, and I know how this go. On Friday, Saturday, they finishing up the play sheet, right? And then on Saturday, they gonna give it to y'all, but they make it.
Ain't no way they had the wrong.
The only mistakes on that are you mistype, you leave out, you leave something out, you spell something wrong.
Okay, and so
but like the being it completely wrong.
But yeah, so that's what I say. And the players to clear this shit up. The players don't have no say. They don't have they can't change shit on there. When you get that play sheet, it's already made up. It's already laminated. It's on the team. They make those.
Well, because that's the plays you done ran. You've been working on all week. That's the playbook. That's the game plan.
If something changed, it's not always that it does, but it's minor changes from Friday to Saturday.
And they will let you know.
And they will let you know. Like, you're going to get one on Friday, and then when you come in on Saturday, it might be a few changes, but it's mostly going to be the same.
They get paid way too much to get that man the wrong wristband. I don't believe that.
That's what I'm saying, bro. This whole organization, bro, everything that's happening is for everybody. Shedeur said that the wristband fell out.
See, he's such a good kid. He's gonna have back, bro.
Exactly. Because he's not gonna throw nobody under the bus. Never.
He doing
not
right.
his teammate, not his coach.
Yeah, this ain't about being nice. This is about being smart. This is knowing there is no accountability. So if the NFL won't hold the Browns accountable, how can Shedeur, admitting what truly happened, hold the Browns accountable? Shedeur understands his purpose. He understands what's going on. He know God opened that door, and he know God gonna open it. Do not be surprised if they try to trade him as anything other than a QB1 and he walks. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. One thing about Shedeur, he already knows who he is. And they're not going to change that. There is no benefit to him staying. He's not making generational wealth. He actually can go somewhere else and ball out. A new lane actually could emerge. At a time where all the old is being phased out, NASCAR being sued by Michael Jordan and other NASCAR owners. It's just a matter of time. Baseball can't fill up their stadiums. Hockey became irrelevant. They drafted 3 to 10 black people this year alone. And did you hear me say, Charlamagne the Guy signed a $200 million deal for a product that didn't even exist several years ago. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong pro football league. That's all I'm going to keep saying. It's time for a new lane. Somewhere where Shedeur Sanders' talents are respected, embraced, welcomed. They want him to ball out. We want Shedeur, come over here. We can't wait till you play. Shedeur, how you feeling this week? You ready for the game? Shedeur Sanders, you need anything? Not giving him the wrong wristband. I'm so ready to see Shedeur Sanders be celebrated, and I know it's not going to happen without any type of accountability. That's not happening. But that's what 14 million fans want to see. Shedeur Sanders given the opportunity to be the phenomenal quarterback he is, with a head coach on a team in a league that celebrates phenomenal talent regardless of race, that celebrates black quarterbacks, phenomenal talent. Yeah, it could happen. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. It's time. Out with the old, in with the new. It's time. Bookmark this podcast episode. It said they are speaking for all the players under contract that can't speak out. Now, see, here's the thing, right? If you can't even speak out, then it lets you know you in the wrong situation. Nothing is generational if your health is at risk. It said many football veterans are in bad shape. Right. Cam has been sacked 48 times, 49, probably 50. He gonna have to be healthy enough to enjoy when he get to that point. Cam is over there fighting for fairness, saying he wants to be included in the decision when they make the next head coach. Of course. And on the same day, where haters of black quarterbacks in the NFL are hating on Cam for wanting to have a decision-making ability, knowing that the quarterback position is the most important position on the team, apparently until the quarterback is black. Somebody said in New York, Jackson Dart should have the ability to choose, to help be in on the decision of choosing the next head coach on the same day. And there was no resistance. Just like on the same day, the Browns O-line blocked for Dillon versus the Ravens. And in the second half, while Shedeur's house was being robbed, the Browns O-line chose not to block for Shedeur. Some of those people got away because they're injured. Shedeur had the opportunity to work out with the entire first team on offense, and the entire first team on the O-line is out or dirt diving or backing into Shedeur with a defensive lineman or falling on their own quarterback. Corruption at the highest level. Shedeur Sanders is too good for all of this. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong professional football league. Coach Prime, if you're listening, you might be available soon. Primetime pro football sounds good to me. So, that's what it is. That's just what it is. So we're going to finish listening to these guys, and then we're going to get out of here. We'll be back later.
He can't.
So him saying that means that
he was taught right.
Yeah.
So
that's one thing. That's crazy.
Like you see the situation, and knowing, being in the building, a part of those
that's crazy
situations like that, seeing this happen, bro. Like I said, it's every week since he's been the quarterback starting for their team. It's something new, a new situation that we've never seen before.
From the coaching side.
Look at the coach face when
from the coaching side. From the coaching side, not from his side. From the
that we've never seen before. I'm talking about Stephen A, Cam
face,
Newton, like reporters, media.
Fuck him. You need to fire him, right? He needs to get fired.
Look how he looked, man. He looked like he don't want that situation. He looked like he don't want to be in that situation.
This is my question. So, like, we know that allegedly that Shedeur pick was a GM call.
Yes.
Right. Now, as a coach, I just wanted to clarify the chances of Shedeur leaving or this coach leaving. Chances are the coach normally leave first, right? Is that fair to say?
In this case, it
we don't fucking know.
It should be.
It should be, but we don't like. We don't know. With everything that was going on, that shit. But the fact that they fucked up his like.
So understand this. They're talking about the chances of Shedeur leaving or the coach leaving, because in the national media, they're saying the two can't coexist. That's Stefanski got to go or Shedeur got to go. Has Stefanski been fired yet? So Shedeur got to go. Is the NFL going to let Shedeur go? Maybe this is where a guy wakes Shedeur up at 4 a.m. and say, come on, let's go. And he comes on, has a broadcast, and lets us know. He's retiring from the NFL. He's going to a different league. And he ain't going to be the only one. And I know 14 million people going to be instant fans or wherever the hell it is he going. And again, I will remind you, new lanes are opening up. The old guard is dying fast, including people who have the mentality that Shedeur can't process fast enough. If you watch the clip of number 68 trying to fall on Shedeur, trying to back his man into Shedeur processes faster probably than any other goddamn quarterback out here, because he's been in this situation where he's being sabotaged by his O-line before. See, we know Shedeur can get past a negligent O-line. He had a lot of practice with that. God prepared him for this. That's what it is. What you're seeing now is Jerry Jeudy choosing to be the guy that sabotages the whole team. Enemy of the locker room, enemy of the fan base, enemy of the people. And they think they win when they can turn black people against each other. Jerry Jeudy is not African American. So they not winning like that. They making Jerry Jeudy and his people look bad. That's all I'm going to say. And his own people have said, we not like him. Yeah. So jokes on them once again. They do not know black people. They do not know black culture, but they insist on thinking they know how to take us down. Shedeur is still standing. He's thriving in a system that was meant to destroy him. I promise you that does not happen every day. Most people tap out. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. And having a loving family helps, but you need more than that. And that's where 14 million fans come in at. Showing up for you consistently when people are trying to tear you down. Shedeur Sanders is thriving on and off the field. And at the same time, the Browns are getting more and more desperate to sabotage him from within. So what they going to do this week? What are they going to do this week against the Bills? A game that they expect to be a massacre because they're already talking about should he be forced to sit the next 2 games. So you know how he going to play in this game? How can you suggest he should be benched already and he hasn't even played against the Bills? Because you know the fix is in. The fans are treated to another rigged game. We just watched to see what God gonna do. And to pray for Shedeur's protection, that they don't succeed at injuring him, his own team. So, that's just what it is, right? That's just what it is. That's where we are. All right, let me let these guys finish. If you're just not joining us, we're listening to the Raw Room. These are former NFL players, recently former NFL players, telling us how difficult it is to get the wrong wristband for the quarterback and how somebody at the highest levels either ordered this hit on Shedeur or allowed it to happen, but it likely came from up top. That's what they're saying.
That's Cleveland.
Something like that. But listen, though, this something like that doesn't happen on accident. If that's what happened, somebody did that shit on purpose.
Yeah, I believe that.
You don't accidentally fuck up the whole play. Head coach. You don't actually fuck up a whole play sheet, bro. A play call sheet, bro.
Yeah.
A wristband.
You lose.
That's not an accident. You lose your job. You lose your fucking job.
You'll lose your job over that shit.
What?
So that means somebody in an
Quit.
important position knew what was happening and allowed that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now we don't know who it was, but you fuck, like, you know how that goes. At that level, you fuck up one. You have, let's say you have one play, like one play supposed to be here because you know it's color coded.
Yeah.
One play supposed to be in yellow, but you got it in blue, and the other one's in yellow. That'll get you fired. Messing up the wrong wristband sheet.
I told you,
bro.
It don't make no sense.
It's too much money being made.
Man.
Too many people know what's going on. That shit happened on purpose. Mm-hmm. Somebody in an important position on that coach staff or on that above administration side in Cleveland allowed that shit to happen. Whoever it is needs to lose their fucking job.
Everybody needs to lose their job there. Look at the situation in the quarterback room, man. You paying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Top to bottom, bro. Yeah.
That's it. You heard it. It's crazy. Top to bottom. The quarterback room, the situation, the way it was mismanaged, and the fact that Kevin Stefanski has a job tells you the owner has not been held accountable. The owner's not holding Stefanski accountable. You heard former NFL players say it. That was not easy to get the wrong wristband. They went through a lot to make that happen. It's corrupt from top to bottom. These are people that played in the NFL that are telling you it's corrupt from top to bottom, inside and out, right? So once again, Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. That's it. There is nowhere for a black phenomenal quarterback in the NFL in 2025 or 2026 or 2027. Right? If he wants to become part of a group of triplets, as you can see down here, second column in the red, or if he wants to be a part of a group of twins at the top in the blue. And this has since changed, and we'll go right back to it next year. Because this year when the draft ended, there were 16 black starting quarterbacks. And now you have some of the top quarterbacks that were supposed to be coming to the draft going back to school. And Dante Moore and the kid at Arkansas need to go back to school. So that's it. All right, so we're going to get out of here. Again, Shedeur Sanders thriving on and off the field, despite the Browns trying to disrupt his career and destroy his mental fortitude and physically get him injured by allowing O-linemen to fall onto him and drag the defensive players and push him into Shedeur so he can be of no benefit to any team, so they don't have to worry about what to do with him next year. Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong league. He's too elite. It should be celebrated and treated with respect as a human being and not 3/5 of a human, where it's okay for him to be injured. And he certainly does not deserve to be stacked on anybody's team. He should be allowed to play freely and lead and be respected as a leader. And that is not happening in Cleveland. And that is not happening in the NFL. So I close by saying Shedeur Sanders is in the wrong professional football league. Okay, so I shall see y'all later on tonight at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will, oh, I forgot. We got a members only podcast. I'm getting ready to hop on over there. Otherwise, I'll see y'all tonight at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you, everybody. Peace out.